in the West, we have, especially in this country, we have state and church separate, the separation of state and church, right? Okay, we talk about this in the clinical portion. Okay.
China is nationally known as like an atheist country, and I said I think about 40 years ago they had that revolution where they had no religious tolerance.
Yeah.
And Buddhists were thrown in jail and they were killed. But then in 2008 there was a large earthquake where Buddhists as well as Christians were welcomed to come and help with charity work and help rebuilding those communities.
Yeah.
And now the Chinese government has both, they kind of have like a mutually beneficial relationship. They do use the Buddhist temples and relic sites for, they receive income from it, from the fees, but it also gives exposure to the Buddhist religion and supports the temples that are there.
Okay, thank you. Let me show you this clip first before I extend to you further. Who study Asian history? Okay, you know Cultural Revolution in China?
Yeah.
What happened?
When Mao Zedong took over, they kind of he kind of took from what I remember, he kind of took everything that was previously part of China's culture and completely kind of took it away, so to speak, and then built his own kind of culture.
I don't study Chinese.
We don't know. Okay, let's just watch this video. This is horrible. You see what's that?
Had to be destroyed. Not just Confucianism and Buddhism, but even more so foreign faiths like Christianity. Throughout the country, churches were closed, clergy unfrocked, religious symbols smashed. The statue of the Virgin Mary was replaced by a portrait of Mao. One form of worship gave way to another.
It has to become a better world, and of course it didn't. It became a much worse world.
The physical destruction wrought by the Red Guards was unparalleled even in China's long history. Monasteries all over the country, as far away as distant Tibet, were ransacked and razed to the ground. The most important sites, like the Forbidden City, were protected on the orders of Zhou Enlai. But elsewhere, our stormtroops had free rein. Zhou Enlai's implicit distinction between smashing bourgeois ideas and smashing bourgeois individuals was quickly forgotten. Over the next few weeks, tens of thousands of people
Okay, this is too long, but you see that? This is for everything. Regardless of religions. Buddhism, Muslim, Christianity, Catholicism, like you say, he want to wipe out everything so that he built his own cult. I went to China in 1992, 1993 and met a head monk at what we call Longhua temple in Shanghai. He said that during this Cultural Revolution, they tried to smash everything, the Great Wall. And the head monks, he had the idea how to protect the Buddha statue. You know how? So he put the image of Mao Zedong in the four corners. No one dared to smash us. And inside, of course, is Buddha statue.
That's cool.
The smart boy. And on that trip, I met some people, especially the two former nuns. They say that they were known during the Cultural Revolution, but they were destroyed and sent to the what you call the educational camp. That's what they say, but actually in the jail. You have to work in the farm. without paying, days and night. And most of the head monks during those times were either killed or tortured terribly. Some of them, they were hanged by the fingers of the silver. Can you imagine that? You know what they call in Indonesia, we know about the method of torture. You know what called water shell, is it right? Water ball, right? You know, it's similar. And they told me that they tie the people, they tie the head back and let the water drop, one drop at a time on the head, on the forehead of the people, on the top of the people. That's, at first it's not much, right? But later on it's like a hammer that hit you, and eventually they die. So they have all kind of evil thinking, how to harm people, how to torture people. And it's terrible, but like you just mentioned, yes?
What year was this?
Between 1966 and 1976, 10 years. Not 1 year, 10 years. And it's just feel horrible sight. It's horrible things in the Chinese history. But look this way here. It's in opposite, right? These statues built by the Chinese government is about, in total from the base to the top is about 502 feet. You see that? You see the Buddha statue from far? It's huge. That's huge. Anyway, during that trip I went to many Buddhist holy sites. Yes, I heard all kinds of stories that during the Cultural Revolution they destroyed almost everything. But later on, after 1970s, after Mao passed away, they rebuilt everything again. And now, like you say, they don't promote Buddhism, but they promote tourism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, money.
Money. Yes.
Just kind of a question. Did I understand that they like destroyed a lot of the temples and the things, but were they able to save a lot of the texts, or did they like forcefully take those away from like the written records and things from like historical value? Were the monks able to save most of those?
Not much. Actually, they just destroyed a temple, statue. Actually, on the surface level, there's damage on the surface level, but not much deep down. But listen to me, and you see. Nowadays, they don't promote Buddhism, but they promote tourism. The reason why they built all kinds of statues, and they built or repair many huge Buddhist monasteries for tourists, for tourism. And every temple I went there, they charge money. You have to buy a ticket. At the temple, I just told you that the head monks use that method to protect the Buddha statue. I met several of them, monks. They work from 8 to 5. You know what I mean? 8 o'clock. You know time card. I went to the office, so I saw that time card. Click, that's their house. And then they went to the temple to do the prayer, all kind of prayer. And 5 o'clock, go home with their wives, children. They done the ropes when they went there, and when they got back, they like people.
Wow.
And in the surface, people I mean, for outsider, wow, they say, wow, Chinese government, they protect or they promote Buddhism. That's on the surface. Deep down, no, they want to destroy Buddhism. You know why? I told you, in Asia, right, monks and nuns and central figures are the one who take care of the religion. They pay that kind of monks to do the prayer services. That destroy the image of monks and nuns in the eyes of the common people. So they don't have any trust in Buddhism at all. You understand that? Instead of destroying the temple, instead of destroying the statue, yet people build again. But when they destroy the image of the monks and nuns, the virtual image of monks and nuns, that's the way they destroy the wood. It's so sophisticated. This is so super proper. So that's the way. And of course, not only in Buddhism too, they control the priest, the pastor, whoever follow them, they would allow to run the churches, otherwise they put in jail. It's very severe. And up to now too. Up to now, many monks, I know that many monks who really want to do the practice, most of the time they stay in mountain and in forest. They don't want to involve with politics. Whoever involved with politics will be controlled by the government. It's in Vietnam, exactly the same. But in Vietnam, it's less severe than China.
And they said that the Dalai Lama was banned in
Yeah.
China.
Why? You know why?
I would think because he has a lot of followers
No,
and they would
no,
listen
no,
to
no.
him. I don't know.
Remember when we talked about Tibet, Tibetan Buddhism, remember? Dalai Lama is like the political and spiritual leaders of Tibet. So now they try to control Tibet, can say forever, with this kind of propagandas. You understand that? So they try to push out Dalai Lama. Plus, they try to convince people that don't believe in Dalai Lama anymore, so that the people would believe in the government. So that's their policy. Another way, so in China, in Vietnam, it is similar. That they just want to control the power. You can do the religious function, ceremony, celebration, and so forth, but don't touch my government. Don't touch with politics. If you say something go against them, you head to the jail. And it use religion as a tool to control people. That's the way. So of course this is two side because when they build up they build temple, they build the Buddha statue and so forth, they promote tourism to get the money. But in the essence, they want to destroy the Sangha. You understand that? In Buddhism, right, in order to be Buddhist, you have to take refuge with Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So they destroy the image of Sangha, so that people could not believe in Buddhism anymore. That's their purpose. But somehow nowadays, yes,
Who was that?
Chinese government. But nowadays they somehow now they try to balance. You just watch us video clips. How for 1,000 years. You learn Confucianism, right? Ricky? You know Confucianism, right?
Yeah.
The idea, right? The idea at home, you need to obey your parents, grandparents, elder, right? At work, you need to follow your employers. And in the society, you need to follow the government. That's the standard of order that's Confucius set out for 1,000 years. During this the Cultural Revolution, they turned everything upside down. Children accuse parents or grandparents and so forth. And later on, the Chinese government, Chinese officials nowadays they recognize that's a mistake and they try to reverse us. They try to promote Confucianism so that they can stabilize society. So that in this sense, they want to follow that kind of path so that they can tell the citizen, the people, you need to follow the tradition, you need to follow the government. If you go against the government, that means you go against the Confucian practice. You understand that? So that now they revise us. And plus, again, most of the time, in a sense, they don't promote anti-traditions. They can promote tourism. They can try to give the power, their power. They want to hang on the power. That is what communism is for. And of course, sometimes even some of them they go extreme, especially the one who, like the corrupt. Here, even I read some little sky story that some Chinese officer in some area they control the temple business, and then they want to sell stock. You know what's mean by stock, right? So that people can buy stock for that temple instead of buying ticket. So the more tourists come, the more they get what? The profit. And of course, this is it's so extreme that now they recognize that's out of the way, so they do try to stop. And anyway, so that's the life over there. And so if you have time to go to China, don't be cheated when you see many temples, many red temples, many Buddhist houses, and so forth. When you talk with the monks, when you talk with the nuns, you know more how much suffering they have. Especially for me, yeah, I have that kind of experience. I have that kind of knowledge because I have that kind of contact, direct contact with the monks and nuns, so I know well. Otherwise, when you are visitors, you just see the surface. You just see the appearance, the external appearance, not that much in this sense. Okay. Yes, sir.
Who was the Chinese ruler that
Mao Zedong, right?
that went against the Buddha teachings?
Who's that?
The Chinese emperor leader who went against Buddha's teachings.
Oh, actually, let me put it this way. Thank you. Thanks for asking the question. Throughout the history, throughout Chinese history, from the 1st century up to the early 20th century, most of times the Chinese emperors support Buddhism in general. Let's start with Mao Zedong. This is everything's turned upside down. But now they take it easy on the traditions. As long as the monks and nuns follow their orders, otherwise they head into the jail. Yeah.
What was his name?
Mao Zedong.
Oh, Mao.
Mao Zedong.
Okay, yes, okay.
Okay. That's the story now. Okay, so the next one. Guess what you have? Yeah. And
That's me.
yeah.
Well, nearly 95% of Thailand's population is Buddhist of Theravada school. In Thailand, as in other Buddhist kingdoms, the king was principal and thought of patron and protector of the religion. In the past, governments and power tend to expand and contract, and so when the power of the king was greater than the protection over the religion was greater. That was kind of the past. Now, Thailand is currently a constitutional monarchy, and it still has a strong Southeastern Asian tradition of Buddhist kingship. The Buddhist institutions and clergy are granted special benefits by the government, but they're also subjected to a certain amount of government control. A secular government ministry supervises Buddhist temples and monks. The legal status of Buddhist sects and reform movements has been an issue of contentions in some cases. To get travel, a passport for travel abroad, a monk has to go through a lot of different things. Like there's a long list of items they have to have just to leave the country. The government officials give formal gifts to monasteries. And then they get some extra things like free passage on public transportation and good seating in airports and trains. But also they're forbidden from voting or standing in office for elections. In 2007, some Thai people wanted Buddhism to be a constitutional religion, and there were a lot of critics. They claimed the movement to declare Buddhism a national religion was motivated by political gain, so that I don't think that happened. And then in one part it said that the Constitution disenfranchised a Buddhist monk, a Buddhist novice, or a priest or clergy member from voting or from being elected. So that sounds to me like the lay people can't vote if they're Buddhist? No, just the clergy members. If you're a monk or a nun, or you're training to be a monk or a nun, then you can't vote or hold office. But a lay person can still vote. I guess that's good. So, I don't know, it doesn't sound like government involvement is a very good thing.
Okay, let me show you a short clip. This is the life of the recent king. He passed away recently. He was monk for several years.
He was a monk?
He was
A prince named Bhumibol becomes king of a modern nation. He has endured some of Thailand's most tumultuous times to become their longest ruling monarch. A king who rules with compassion. A man loved above all.
You see his picture? He was monk. That is the traditions. Before someone take the office, they need to be trained as a monk. Before they get married, they go to temple. They train their moral conduct within the Buddhist Sangha. So that's why they choose this festival. And like to show you, right? Show you some clip about how they respect, right? So I show you some of this one, right?
Hi everyone, right now I am standing on Yellowbad Road, which is also known as the Golden Dragon Road here in the Chinatown of Thailand. And today throughout Chinatown, which is about 5 kilometers, there will be an alms offering of 30,000, I repeat, 30,000 monks and novices from all over Thailand, where many people, not only from Thailand but also around the world, who are here to offer non-perishable goods to all of these 30,000 monks.
Chinatown is located in one of the oldest areas of Bangkok. The road that the 30,000 monks and officers are walking on is shaped like the curve of a dragon's body.
Okay, see that? This is so Buddhism so flourished in Thailand, but again, like you say, I met some Thai monks in the state, and before they came here, they had to be approved by the officers. They could not go by themselves. They have to be approved by their head monk, by their teacher, plus their officers. But somehow they have some privilege there. They fly Thai airplane for free. But in return, they cannot vote. They cannot involve in politics. And recently, a few months ago, there's one monk who involved into some kind of political movement. He was admonished and criticized by many people because he involved too much in politics. So anyway, so again, this is a great country, but that's great. That's great to prohibit monks from involving into politics too much. You know why? Why?
Is the power.
Yeah, power. When you have power, what happen?
You get
It's
corrupted.
corrupted. Attachment to corrupted, right? You forget to work with your own mind, right? And you change your emotion. When you're in politics, right? If you are with your party, right? They support you, but other party go against you, and they are your enemies. So you drink what called friend and foe, right? That's the same emotion that we go every day. Right? So that's why as Buddhist monks, as Buddhist clearly we need to move beyond above that kind of political problems. Okay, number 3.
I found this interesting news article, and it talked about an event that happened in January. This extremist Buddhist group called the Bodhu Bala Sena, which translates to Buddhist Power Force, attacked 2 Christian churches in Sri Lanka and burned down the churches and burned all of the Bibles, although there was no mentioning of anyone actually getting hurt. And the reason why they did this was because the government is, like, there's a labor crisis in Sri Lanka right now, and the government is trying to divide the workforce, and they provoked these extremist Buddhist groups to do this. But in my opinion, I wouldn't even consider these groups really Buddhist, because if they were, they wouldn't do this in the first place.
Yeah, Buddhist it's a similar situation in Burma, right? There is a series of monks. He lived at my monastery for 4 or 5 years. One reason why I sponsor him, because I knew a man who lived in Louisville. He told me that one of his friends, this monk, was in danger. His life was threatened by government 5 or 6 years ago because he and his teachers involved too much in politics. So at that time, I didn't know much about the problem in Sri Lanka. So according to his friends, the one that asked my head, that if this monk went back to Sri Lanka, he will be executed, and he has nowhere to go. So this man asked me to sponsor him as a way to save his life. So I didn't know him. So yes, I did. I sponsored him with R1. R1 is a religious worker. So he came here and lived at my monastery and temple for 4 or 5 years. And he insisted to ask me to help him to obtain green card, but I say no because green card, green card, permanent, become
yes.
permanent resident.
Okay.
So I say no because he involved too much with politics, plus he played a lot with power. And recently, last few months, we went back to Sri Lanka. The first and second month when he got back there, he was beaten seriously. When you involved with politics, right? You break friend and foe, right? The one who support you, they will protect you. The one who go against you, they will try to harm you. So that's why I don't want to get involved with this kind of people.
So what happened when he went to Sri Lanka? He got whooped?
Yeah.
They whooped him up real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
He must have did some
And then
awful
he tried to
bad.
come back here, but I say no, that's your business, not me.
And so if you guys don't involve yourself with green cards, how do a lot of your monks stay over here whenever they?
What is that again?
You said that you don't do green cards, or you don't involve yourself with that because it's too political.
Yeah.
How do your monks who come from Vietnam and
that's
how do
different
they
story.
stay?
That's different story. I sponsor many monks and nuns. You see, some of them I sponsor them recently. I'm a monastery. The one who really devote their life for religion, I would sponsor them to this day. The one who involved in politics, they no, I don't want that.
Because he was involved in politics and it was causing trouble, and that's why he needed to leave the country, not because of a different reason.
Yeah, and for me, yes, when I was layman, at that time still young to understand about politics, but when I decide, okay, this is enough for my life, so I became monk. So from that time on, I decided that I would not involve in politics at all. Because, like you know, you understand, right?
Yeah,
if you
agree.
involve in politics, if you involve with power, either you'll be corrupted, you'll be exploited, or you go against other people's will. So let's say you are my friends, she's my enemies. So if I side with you and with her around, that's not Buddhist compassion. Compassion is to take care, to help